And some health news. Now this.
All right, let's talk law. President Trump accepting the resignation of his national security advisor, retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, and then immediately blasting the leaks that brought the general down.
Papers are being leaked, things are being leaked. It's criminal action, criminal act. And it's been going on for a long time before me. But now it's really going on. I think it's very, very unfair what's happened to General Flynn, the way he was treated, and the documents and papers that were illegally, I stress that, illegally leaked.
It's criminal, it's illegal. So what are the potential consequences for those people who are responsible for these leaks? Here to discuss is Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano.
It's a very, very unhappy state of affairs in the federal government right now. So here's the background. General Flynn, his last job in the military was the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, military spies. Yep. General Flynn's career was spying. He knew when he was on the phone with the Russian ambassador that American spies were listening to everything he said. He knew it. It was absolutely standard operating procedure. But he thought he was being listened to by patriots. He didn't think he was being listened to by people who would try to undermine the presidency of Donald Trump and destroy the most important person in his national security entourage by leaking to the public or leaking to enough people in the government exactly what they heard. So we now have a state of affairs where we have professional spies in the intelligence community who can turn on or off information to the President of the United States, who can decide what to give him and what to keep from him, decide what to reveal and what to keep secret, and basically are a shadow government in an effort to control and frustrate the president. What the president just said about those illegal leaks is 100% correct. They were illegal, they're immoral, they're criminal. Will we ever find those people? Absolutely not. They are the best stealers of secrets, keepers of secrets, and leakers of secrets on the planet. They're the same people that concocted that stuff and leaked it about the president supposedly in a hotel room in Moscow.
You know, I was reading Andrew McCarthy in the National Review, and he said because, you know, the leak came out that Flynn had discussed sanctions or whatever it was with the Russians, and they were very specific about what they leaked out. He says, release the entire tape so people can actually see
well, that'd be a very good thing. Andy's absolutely correct on this. If they released the entire tape, you'd see how harmless it was.
Right.
So here's the picture. Barack Obama imposes sanctions on the Russians around Christmas time. He has less than a month to go in his presidency. And Donald Trump's soon-to-be national security advisor, General Flynn, calls up the Russian ambassador and basically says, we will probably look at this differently in another month. What the heck is wrong with that? That is good diplomacy, what the general said. If that's what he said, that's what we believe he said. But to Andy's point and your point, we haven't seen the transcript.
But that
We've only heard parts of it.
Because they're trying to,
in my view, that is absolutely not illegal.
The problem was misleading. He said he did not talk about sanctions, and he told the vice president that. The vice president goes on national TV and says he didn't talk about sanctions. It turns out he did.
I do not buy the fact that Mike Flynn was asked to leave because of telling a white lie to Mike Pence.
What do you think?
First of all, Mike Pence knew exactly what Mike Flynn said. The president knew what Mike Flynn said. They both knew.
And of course they talked about sanctions, right?
Oh, of course they did. Donald Trump wanted a better relationship with Russia, and he didn't want the Russians to think that Barack Obama's tail end of his presidency would taint that.
Oh, wait a second. So what's your theory?
My theory is that the people in the intelligence community feared Mike Flynn because he was one of them and knew too much about them and knew about their sources and methods, and they wanted a different person in there. Guess what? They're getting a guy just as tough, not as steeped in the spy craft, but just as tough and just as loyal to Donald Trump.
Judge, if they want to figure out who's leaking, can't the president just meet with one person in the intelligence community that he trusts to get all this information? Versus 50 or whatever?
It's a lot more complex than that. You have members of the Intelligence Committee who say they don't trust the President of the United States. You know what? If you don't trust your boss and you can't work for your boss, get another job. We have one president. The Intelligence community works for him. They don't work for each other.
And now we find out, according to the Wall Street Journal today, that the intel community is not being candid with the president and not telling him all the information.
Now, how can that happen? How dangerous is that? How will the president know what they are not telling him?
And how will he be able to make executive decisions based on If he doesn't have all the facts, how can he make the
These
decisions?
are all questions that are going through the president's head probably at this very moment. He has the courage and the stamina to address this, but he's got some heads have to roll.
And guess what? National Intelligence Director, not confirmed yet.
Right.
The CIA guy was just, Mike Pompeo's only had the job for a week.
Right.
So
a lot of this is at Chuck Schumer's feet because of the slowness with which the president's nominees are being confirmed. But much of it is part of the attitude in the intelligence community that the president doesn't control them, they control him. And that is not consistent with the Constitution or the laws or what the people of the United States are entitled to.
Well, what the Wall Street Journal says is they can't trust the president, somebody in the intel community, and so they're not giving him all the information because they're worried that somebody's going to leak it to the Russians. There's that Russian narrative.
Correct. The biggest leakers are those who want to harm the president by selectively releasing information to make him look bad or to separate him from a good and decent, experienced patriot like General
the president
Flynn.
did get some good news. Fox News poll shows that it looks like most of the American people are for the nomination and expect Gorsuch to get through as the next Supreme Court justice.
Judge Gorsuch is really impressing even Democrats, some of whom are struggling for ways to vote against him, and they can't think of any reason to
He's
do
so
so.
competent.
Yes.
Right, so 49% for it, 14% haven't made up their mind
I
yet.
think the confirmation hearings will sound like a lesson in constitutional law, and I think it'll be confirmed very shortly thereafter.
Although all the Democrats will probably vote against him, right?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think some Democrats are saying it's a good and decent man. I may not agree with him on everything, but this is the type of intellectual honesty and political indifference. He doesn't care about the political outcome because he's not in the political branches of the government that we want on the
And
court.
they want 60 votes because they don't want the precedent being a nuclear option because, the president will do whatever it takes to get him
Mitch
confirmed.
McConnell thinks he has 59, so I think they're going to get the 60th.
We'll see.
All right, guys. All the best.
All right, Jim.
All right, straight ahead.